Cam from Motherslug. Welcome to Nightbreed. How's it going, man?
It's going great. How you doing?
Yeah, doing really well. So you got a new album coming out very shortly, but before we get into that, I wouldn't mind knowing how Motherslug started back in 2011.
Yeah, I basically just responded to an ad. I can't remember where I saw the ad, but yeah, uh, these guys had been playing for a few months, and basically had I think it was like I think they had like 10 singers no show them before I
Yeah,
responded,
yeah.
and yeah, I think just because I showed up, I kind of got in the band.
Yeah.
And then yeah, so we basically just started jamming from there, and got out of the lounge room and into onto the stage. I think the first gig was at Cherry Bar, and then just started getting gigs. Horrible nights like Tuesday nights, Wednesday nights at Pony, the late slots there, and doing all that sort of stuff. Yeah, basically just playing a lot of gigs in those first few years.
Mm,
Um, yeah, that's where we started.
yeah.
Slogging it out with playing to no one.
Cool. And I read on Metal Archives it says Regan, the guitarist, joined in 2015. So were you a
Yeah,
three?
that's right.
So were you a three-piece of drums, bass, and vocals before that?
No. We were a five-piece. We had
Oh, okay.
Ferg and Matt on guitar. They were the two originals, and we did the first two EPs with them. Well, Ferg left just before we did the second, and then yeah, we kind of continued on, and then basically got Regan on board when Matt left,
Hmm.
and yeah, we started a residency on on a Wednesday night at Yaya's, and I think Regan joined on the Saturday before. So we had to quick induction into the Mother Slug, um, you know, getting to know all the songs and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
yeah, Birth of Fire.
Wow. Yeah. No, that's cool. You've had some great supports over the years, like Prong and Bogzilla. Are there any shows that stand out as like really memorable ones?
Yeah, Prong was pretty memorable actually. We went to
Mm.
Canberra for that one, and I was actually running we had a gig on the Sunday at the Tote, so we were playing the Saturday night supporting Prong, and then had to get back to Melbourne to play a gig on the Sunday
Mm.
as well. That was pretty memorable. Just a road trip was always fun. Piling into a van, going across to Adelaide a couple of times, playing over there. Yeah, I remember going up to Brisbane for Rise of the Riff. That was great. Great gigs up there. Brisbane crowds are fantastic.
Cool.
Um, yeah. Yeah. Doomsday Festival with Windhand was pretty damn cool too. That was a great gig. I remember that one. Yeah. Yeah. That was at I think that was at Yaya's as well. I think it was downstairs when they used to have bands down there. Yeah. That was a cracker.
Awesome. Yeah. So 2017, the Electric Genes of Titan album comes out. How was it trying to capture that live kind of when I listen to music, it sounds like it's a live groovy kind of feel. How is
Mm.
it trying to capture that on a record? It sounds like it'd be kind of tricky.
Yeah, I get. Yeah, well, that is actually it's a good point, really, because it's something we've been chasing for quite a while, and I think we didn't quite get it on Junes. I mean, we tried to record it kind of live, but me being in a separate room, I didn't have visual contact with the rest of the band, and I had a video feed which had a kind of delay on it, and it was really hard. So it ended up being, it was attempted to be a live kind of thing, and I guess like the bass tracks, the bass tracks, but like um, the rhythm tracks were live, and I think eventually we redid. I think it was just the way that the guitars were amped or something or other. We ended up having to redo them, but I mean, it does capture that kind of vibe. I mean, just the structure of the songs kind of lend itself to that. But it wasn't until we got into Newmarket Studios to do Blood Moon Blues where we could actually do a live. I mean, we could visually see each other, you know, when we basically just, you know, ready, set, go. And we could just go through multiple takes there, all the band, all just playing. And so much a better experience to record than they, you know, just laying down tracks individually and then going in afterward and overdubbing stuff and that kind of thing, which we did for the first two record, you know, first two EPs. And you know, I mean, I guess you can kind of tell, but yeah, you know, the vibe, that live vibe's just not there on those early ones. I guess they're still cool, but you know, yeah.
Yeah, cool. So was the songwriting process different coming into this one? Like knowing, you know, you were going to record it differently, that sort of thing?
Well, I mean, not really, no, because we had intended to record the previous one like that as well.
Yeah, sure.
So I guess, and it doesn't really influence the way we kind of structure our songs and that kind of, it's very much just rehearsing a song, playing it over and getting that kind of vibe of, you know, what can go where, how it can change. I mean, the way it goes, you know, Nick or Regan bring a song to rehearsal, they jam. They might have jammed on it together over, you know, at each other's house or something like that. Bring it to rehearsal, and then you know, we'll play it through. I'll just mumble some crap over the top, and then start putting words to it. And you know, I'm kind of like, it's done. That's it for me. I'm like, yeah, couldn't possibly get any better. Let's go. But you know, to Regan and Nick's credit, they're like, no, I think we need another section in here, or we got to put an intro and an outro, and we got to need a bridge in here, and all, you know, you put that real sort of finesse into the songwriting, and I think that that shows on the last album. You know, that I wouldn't say it was like it wasn't like we had heaps of time through COVID to sort of you know, work on that stuff and make it more finessed, because most of the stuff was done in the earlier demos, just pre-COVID, and we were kind of ready to record, you know, right before the pandemic hit. So they did kind of evolve. They're quite different from the demos that we had, but yeah, I'm rambling.
Oh, that's cool, man. Ramble is good,
Me,
man. That's what we're here for. That's all right. Yeah. So you're saying with the lyrics, so is that just your domain, or do the rest of the band have a bit of input into what's going on thematically and stuff?
I've found it difficult to sing other lyrics, like lyrics from other people.
Okay.
You know, Nick's written some lyrics for some stuff, and you know, there's nothing wrong with the lyrics. I just find it difficult to kind of maybe connect with them, or just to realize how he's hearing it in his head, you know, that kind of thing. So he's writing something down, and he's definitely hearing something. Is how I'm trying to, you know, pull that out of him. How do I sound like what you've got in your head? And I think it's less successful than, you know, if I'm writing something. It's usually the words are not the important part to me in what we're doing. We usually, like I said, I usually mumble something over, and they're all, you know, it's just gibberish words. And eventually you have to try and string some kind of sense of coherence into the melody. So the melody is kind of where it comes from me, and then, you know, trying to make sense of that melody and somehow sometimes construct a story. Sometimes it's just a feeling, that kind of vibe. But yeah. So generally, yeah, I tend to write all the lyrics. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. So the new single Chords, that's the only one I've heard from the new album. It's epic. I like all the, you know, the changes and movements and stuff. What's that about lyrically? Is there a story there?
Chords is yeah, it's interesting. Sorry, just it's interesting the genesis of that one, obviously, as well. Like, just because you get in there and you're just starting to scream stuff over, and you're like, yeah, and then you're trying to figure out what am I trying to? Is this angry? Am I angry here? What's going on? And yeah, I think Chords is you know, it's like when I'm constructing the lyrics, it's a bit of, you know, it's that kind of like almost cut up sort of method where you're just pasting in, like, you know, cool lyrics to, and then it kind of comes out of that, what you see strung together. You read over it a few times and you sort of start to make, you start to, conjure up a storyline or some connecting tissue between all the bits and pieces, and then kind of rewrite it over again. But I think it was just a general sort of sense of angst against the world and humanity and everyone's shit, that kind of vibe.
Cool.
Which, it's weird. I think, it's not necessarily like most of the songs, they're not necessarily like heartfelt things that I'm really like angry about in the, like goddamn humans and all that kind of stuff. But sometimes yeah, you've just had enough.
Yeah, yeah, man. Cool. And I've got to ask, I haven't heard this one yet, but the Ballad of Jock Brown, that's got to be a story. What's that one about?
Yeah, again, that's a kind of cut up paste method as well, and eventually just came sort of this narrative story sort of evolved out of that, and it gets quite difficult. I mean, like most of our songs are quite long. They're either 4 to 6 minutes or so, and but conversely, there's not actually many lyrics in there. There's not a lot of singing going on. So to really construct a narrative that kind of makes sense, you've only got like 6 to 12 lines of, what's going on to impart. Who is this person? What do we feel about this person? So I think that the power in it is that it's just really vague. It everyone reads into it, and everyone's got conjures up a picture in their mind of who this Jock Brown character is after they hear the song. What sort of a person he is like, is it euphemisms and metaphor here, or is it something directly we're talking about? Like, is he a bushranger? Is he holding people up? Is he really just some kind of innocent bystander who's, and anyway, yeah, but that was almost a surprise, really, to me, that most of our songs are not narrative. There's not many of them in there. I think Three Kings, which is based on a Michael Moorcock short story, but most of them are not narrative. They kind of just have this kind of weird sort of metal type lyrics.
Yeah, cool.
So yeah, it's odd when a narrative one comes up like that, and a lot of people just connect to it immediately. It's quite interesting, the response we've had to that song. Yeah.
Cool. So are there any current bands, or not even current, just albums or bands that when you're on the road, the whole band's like keen to get into? Is there anything that kind of collectively you love?
Anything we collectively love? I'd struggle to find something there. I think we're all fans of like just the standard stuff. We all love like Deep Purple and Sabbath and Iron Maiden, I guess. The core stuff, I think, is quite interesting. It was like when we were on tour years back, trying to find something we'd actually agree on to listen to, and it was actually way more difficult than it seemed. But yeah, collectively, I don't know. Boris is a big fan. We're all big fans of Boris. Fu Manchu, Caius. I mean, again, all the regular stuff. And I think individually we like quite different stuff as well. I tend to like just the weirder stuff, and I know Regan's into like the ZZ Top, and they're kind of also just that Americana style, almost kind of like folk, I guess. But yeah, man. I don't know what to say there.
Oh, that's cool. What about yourself? You're saying weirder stuff. What kind of stuff are you checking out? Like, what's your favorite kind of tunes?
My favorite kind of tunes, yeah, geez, what have I been listening to lately? I love soundtracks and stuff like that. I've been just obsessed with soundtracks for the longest time. Electronic music, that kind of stuff. Today I've just been listening to Tangerine Dream pretty much all day. Listening to Eddie Current Suppression Ring in the morning. That was pretty cool. Yeah, man, I don't know. Lots of different stuff. Went to Chelsea Wolf recently. Really dig her. Yeah, I don't know, more obscure stuff. I really like that kind of Australian independent stuff as well. Dave Graney.
Oh yeah, nice.
Yeah, uh, all those kind of things.
Yeah,
I don't know.
no, it's good. It's
I'm
good.
drawing a blank for some reason. I usually would
No,
talk people under the table about all different sorts of music.
that's cool. So anyway, you guys have your the big launch coming up, 20th of August at Sunburn
Mm,
Fest alongside Dr. Colossus. I love that band and a
brilliant.
bunch of others. Um, is there any chance that tour will go further? Like, are you going to make your way over my way west,
Well,
maybe?
I think no, actually, I don't know. I don't know if they're going to head over west.
Yeah.
I was going to say it's more like the tail end of it because I think that Sunburn did it run in Sydney and then it was in Canberra. I think
Oh,
it's
okay.
mostly just an annual Canberra event,
Mm,
and I think they were trialing it out this year to see, I think it was just the excitement of the pandemic kind of being over and you being able to have gigs in.
mm,
Yeah, but that kind of spilled over. I think the excitement of that event spilled over, and now that they decided to run one in Melbourne. But I don't know if it's going to go any further. I think it's back to just being an annual Canberra event. And as far as what we've got on the horizon, we're nothing booked after that. I mean,
oh,
it's
okay.
just it's still touch and go COVID wise for trying to book stuff, trying to organize things. Yeah, it's 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 not a great time.
Yeah, it's tricky. Yeah. Well, people, at least you can get the album, right? The link's below for people watching this. Bandcamp link. Get onto it. Blood
Awesome,
Moon
man.
Blues. I'm definitely looking forward to hearing the rest of the album, man. It's that first single's killer. So yeah. And thanks heaps for your time, Cam. Thanks for joining us.
Cool, man. All right, cheers.
Yeah. Giddy. All right, have a good one, man.
Thank you. Cheers.
Cool.
Bye.
Bye.